Today I am sharing tons of ways how to use Dollar Tree candles, whether you are using the ones ready to burn and you just want to dress them up, or using some LED battery powered ones, or just fixing up the ones that you want to melt down and turn them into something new. Either way, these are some really fun, unique projects that I know you're going to love. Please hit the thumbs up button, make sure you are subscribed, and let's get started. Now, recently at the thrift store, I found this little mini mold set. So I'm guessing like you could fill this up with chocolate and write on a birthday cake or something. But I had a really fun idea to create a candle with this candle. So I lit up the number 4 and very carefully let it drip into these mini little molds. And I spelled out the word home. This actually didn't take as long as you would think it would. As soon as I lit it up, it started to drip and melt. So just try to be careful and get it inside of the little molds. Let these completely cool off, and then I just pop them out. So I didn't end up using the entire 4, just a piece of it, so I'm still going to count this as using this in a challenging way, but popped out these little molds. I actually went ahead and put the wax in, like some of them had 2 letters each, so I went ahead and created a couple of them just to make sure if they broke or anything. So got those out. And then I wanted to melt down my own candle because I didn't have any really pretty, already formed candles in my crafting stash. So I poured this green candle into a Dollar Tree jar or container. I put the wick a little bit towards the back so the front would have plenty of space to put this homeward in. And then I'm taking a lighter. Now the wax here was still a little bit soft, but I couldn't push the letters into it without breaking them or having the risk of breaking them. So I just took a lighter, melted the wax a little bit, pressed those letters down inside. And how cute and unique is this? This would make an incredible gift idea. Another fun candle hack is to use these 3D metal pieces. Now they sell these. My Dollar Tree still has an entire end cap full of all of these different metal shapes. I am making one more for summer, 4th of July, but you definitely could pick up they have butterflies and hearts, something that you could use for everyday use. Now, I thought it would be fun to melt a candle in this container. Now, I have melted candles into the Dollar Tree buckets and metal pieces before, and it always drips out. You can tell that beforehand I did run my hot glue gun over all the cracks and seams and tried to get it filled up as good as I could, and it still melted, but it must not be as much as it looks like because it still had wax inside the container. And I've decided to just go ahead, let it run out or do its thing. It always kind of stops itself up, and I let this completely cool, just pull the extra wax off of the edges, and this is the cutest little thing paired with red, white, and blue decor. For this jar, I wanted to share with you a different way that you can use some of the vinyl. So I started by cutting out this really gorgeous vine design. I just like to search floral vines, or sometimes you can do borders or floral borders in the Cricut design space in the image search. And I do have a membership which gives you access to tons of their images, and I just love it so much. And a lot of the times I don't even worry about typing in my own words because you can type that word in and search for images, and they already have it in so many different fonts and makes it so easy to use. But I cut out this little vine, put it on the jar, painted over it a couple of layers with chalk paint, and then if it did bleed through a little bit where I was just in a hurry and going over this really fast, I just took my little weeding tool and scraped away any of the excess paint. And some of this was where I didn't wait for it to completely dry and I pulled it up too fast, so some of the paint ran behind it. But I feel like it looks so gorgeous. I wanted to put a candle in this so it would kind of illuminate up the jar and that floral vine would show up, but such a pretty elegant piece. Next, the Dollar Tree has out these metal buckets that are absolutely adorable. I love the floral prints on there. You can pick out which color that you like the best, or for the person that you're gifting these to. But I wanted to turn these into some really fun candles. So The last time that I poured wax into a bucket like this, it kind of came out of the bottom, which wasn't a big deal. I was able just to kind of rake it away. So I thought that I would put a little bit of hot glue in the bottom. That did not even make a difference, I don't think. It still kind of comes out the bottom, so just expect that. But it's not very much and it hardens pretty quickly. I love how Dollar Tree has these colorful candles. Please be super careful. Make sure that you do protect your hands from the heat and be careful when you are heating up glass. So I like to melt these candles on the stove. I just put them in a pot of water on kind of like medium-high heat, and it takes about 30 minutes before it'll melt. And then I carefully remove the wick, pour these into the buckets, and then replace the wick and kind of hold them in place with like a paintbrush or a pencil until these harden. Now these, I've never had this happen before, but these kind of hardened uneven and they had some holes in them, so I just melted down a little bit more of the same color wax and put it into the bucket, and I was able to cover over all the little mistakes, but it was no big deal. But I think it's completely worth it in the end. These are so adorable. This is the wax I was telling you about. It kind of comes out of the bottom, but I was able to carefully scrape that away, and it leaves this gorgeous candle that you can actually burn. A really fun DIY that you can make with one of these Irish coffee mugs is a little DIY candle. Now I wanted to keep this kind of late summer theme. You could keep this up all year, but adding the little lemon in it, I thought it looked perfect. But the real trick here is using some whipped wax, which a lot of you guys made sure that you let me know how to do this, and I was so excited to try it out. But for this one, I just filled the mug up with some pink wax that I had because I was dying to make like a pink themed candle. So I go ahead and pour that down into the glass and put my wick in there and let that harden or cool off. And then this is the really fun trick. I'm actually taking some white wax in the same style candle. I'm pouring it into a paper bowl so I don't mess up any bowls, and then just using this little silicone whisk that I had from the Dollar Tree because I'm not scared to ruin this because I can easily replace it. And you want to let the candle, after it melts, to set in that jar until it starts to stick this to the sides just a little bit, and then pour it into the bowl and just kind of whisk it like you normally would do anything else, and it starts to thicken up. Now you want it to cool off until it kind of holds its shape a little bit, and then I'm putting it inside of a piping bag and going to pipe this on the top. This is the coolest thing ever. I'm so happy that a lot of you made sure that I knew about this because it's a total game changer, not having to use spackling or anything on top of your candles to make them where you can't actually burn them, even though I probably won't burn this because it's so pretty. But I just filled in the top with this using a large star tip and let this cool off, added some sprinkles, and then stuck in one of my favorite little lemon pieces. This is something I've just had in it like in the back of a drawer or a little crafting box forever, so I'm so excited to get to use that on here. I love the shimmering of the just white glitter that I put on there, but then I had a few little pink hearts, so I stuck those on top too to kind of coordinate with the pink. But I just think this is the most adorable thing. Would be perfect for like a lemonade themed tiered tray, but a really cute little addition to the kitchen. Okay, so this DIY, I pulled out a pack of napkins, and the first thing that hit my mind was to Mod Podge them, decoupage these onto candle jars. I feel like that's the oldest trick in the book, but I was dying to do it, and I love decorating these candles. I've done it a million times, but I'll keep doing it just because I feel like they look so cute setting out on a countertop or on a shelf. So for this, I just cut it down to size, and then she sent me actually one white candle, so I just pulled another one out of my stash so that I could have a set of two that would look really cute. Let these napkins dry with the Mod Podge on there. I did do a light coat on the outside of it, let it dry, and then twisted on some of this fun garland. So it's so funny to think about using this type of garland. Like years and years ago, we made like homemade primitive decor, and it's just funny how fast that a trend comes through and then it goes out. But I feel like the red, white, and blue with this garland doesn't really look primitive to me. It just looks fun, and it's kind of like a whimsical decor piece anyways, so I think it looks really cute. Is a project that I made in a previous glassware hack video, and I really loved it. I just used Mod Podge around the edges with some pressed flowers. I wanted to try something a little bit different today, kind of using the same concept, getting those flowers around the edges, but this time I want to pour the wax directly around the flowers and see how that works. So I go ahead and use Mod Podge. Now I have seen people in the past use a little bit of wax and put on the edges and then stick their pressed flowers on it, but I just didn't trust that 100% to go clear in front of my flowers. So I went ahead and put the Mod Podge and then just kind of pressed in these little flowers to the edges. You want the pretty side facing out, obviously, and this will dry clear, and then you can fill it full of candle wax. Now I usually pick up my pressed flowers from Amazon, Temu, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, anywhere that you want to, but just making sure that I do try to fill this in as much as possible to make it look really cute. I go ahead and place my wick down in place, holding it with a little paintbrush so it can make it stand in the middle, poured in some wax. This took a couple of candles. It did cave in at the top, that's normal. I go ahead and fill it back in, but you can see how gorgeous that this looks after the candle had hardened or cooled off. It does like really show up the gorgeous color of the pressed flowers, especially against this white colored wax. I just love this. I think this would be an incredible gift idea in so many ways that you could customize this to fit your style. Okay, so first off, these little candle like tea light holders that are in the shape of flowers caught my eye. They had 3 different colors. I picked up 5 of them, and I meant to get all the same color, but they didn't have enough, but I knew I was going to spray paint these anyways, but I just love the shape of them, so these were definitely a new item to me, and I'm going to be pairing it with one of these long MDF signs from the Dollar Tree. But I was noticing if you put these flowers like side by side, they kind of fit into each other, and that gave me this really cool idea to create kind of like a centerpiece, but kind of like something for my dresser. I went ahead and sanded down the MDF board, and I'm going to spray paint that with the, it's called London Gray, but it's more of like a brown color. And then I picked out a couple of different shades of gold to paint these metal flowers, and I know it's not a huge difference, but I kind of wanted to make every other one just a little bit different so they didn't all blend together. But these turned out even better than expected. They painted really well. I tried to do several small coats. I even bent up the little flowers after they dried just to make sure that I could get in between there really well and none of the bright colors was showing through. So after these completely dried, I just laid them out on my MDF board and tried to space them and get them really even on the board. And I was worried about gluing these on, but I actually ended up just using hot glue. It worked super well. So just playing around with these, trying to get them to kind of piece inside of each other like a puzzle. But I noticed if I turned every other one, they fit really snug and tight together, and I could fit them all on top of this sign. So not only did I bend up some of the little petals on top to paint them and make sure that everything got painted, I actually did this to help them piece together or fit really snug together. But I was able to fit all 5 on there really, really well. And like I mentioned, I would use a different glue if you want something stronger, but the hot glue is holding really well for me. But I feel like this looks like the most elegant piece and perfect for a bedroom. I thought this was the coolest find. So it's this little metal kind of container. It's 50 cents, or it's kind of like this metal frame, but it looked like it would be perfect to hold one of my Dollar Tree glass containers. So that's exactly what I was going to do with it. I had to wait or hold this project for a little bit because I couldn't find these glass containers at Dollar Tree, and I got so scared that they were going to quit selling them, but then I actually found them again. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I was so excited to get my hands on them that I picked up 4 or 5 new containers, but it fit perfect in there. And then I have these new stickers that I was dying to use, so I am just randomly putting them around this container. I do kind of keep setting it back down into the frame to make sure that all of my leaves are going to fit perfect and nice and show up really good. But these are such nice high quality stickers. They are really thick and really like hug the glass, so they don't feel like they're going to come off. And then putting down one of these Walmart candles inside with the little fake flame. I feel like this is such a really fun project, and it just looks summery to me with the ferns and stuff, but really, really cute and adds in that extra greenery. But this was like a couple of bucks to make, just putting in the candle that you choose and a really, really pretty piece. First pulled up their website, the first thing I noticed was all of these bright summer colors, and they were so beautiful, but I wanted more of like an everyday decor look, and I decided to go with like more of a blue neutral color. But I was so inspired by these little tassels and pieces on the front. I love how they are mixing like different materials and fabrics together. So I love those little votive candles with the tassels on there, and I knew I could make these in a larger version. These were expensive too for these tiny little jars, so it's just fun to get to make more of an inexpensive version, but they will be larger and make more of a statement piece. So I took 2 of these jars and removed the lids. These were from Dollar Tree, and then I had some paint that Plaid had sent me, so I went ahead and just mixed a couple of the blues together to get more of a medium color that I liked. I used painter's tape and then painted the bottom. Now this is more of like an acrylic paint, so it did kind of attach to the painter's tape, so it didn't come off perfect. And I wish I would have made like cut around it or something so that the paint wouldn't have stuck to the painter's tape as much. But I did do a few coats of this, and then whenever I peeled it off, it did mess up the edge. So I decided to hot glue some of the leather Dollar Tree ribbon around the middle, and I just loved it so much. I knew that this little faux ribbon would make the perfect little tags like in the photo, so I thought that was really neat to get to kind of coordinate the ribbon around the jar. But then I noticed how much that Anthropologie stacks different fabrics and materials to give it a really layered just textured look, and I loved that. So using some more Dollar Tree ribbon, I wrapped that around it, and I was in love. I love that whole color scheme with the dark brown of the leather as well as the jute color, and then going in with the dark blue. I just feel like it goes together really nicely. But what made those jars so beautiful was the texture at the top and the little tassels hanging off of it. So I'm using just what I had. I had some gray yarn as well as some jute twine, and then wrap some green string on around the tassel. So much fun getting to layer all of these colors and materials together. To make the tassel, I just wrapped it around 2 fingers several times, and then I cut the bottom off so it wasn't looped around. I tied a knot around the top, and this gave the perfect little tassel. I thought it was adorable. And then, like I said, took some colored string. They were using lots of pinks and greens and blues in theirs. So I thought it would be fun to kind of throw out a random color and not coordinate the jars exactly on the little string around the tassel. The tags in the photo had little words on them. You could use a Sharpie or try to press something down in there, but I just left them plain. But I think these are adorable, high-end looking, and definitely have that anthropology vibe. Okay, so as much gold and white and brassy looking items that I'm making off the website, I definitely had to try one of the colorful summer pieces. I found these little citronella candles, and I think they are sold separately, but they have this little like bright floral color designs, but they were so pricey. So I knew I could make a version of this using the Dollar Tree votive candles. These are not citronella, but they are still going to be really, really cute, and I probably won't burn them. I'll just set them around for decor. But using some of these super nice Dollar Tree stickers, these are perfect on glassware. They are like a super thick sticker with like a glaze over it, so this worked perfect. I kind of mix matched the stickers so that it would appear more colorful. I am using the sunflower set as well as the daisies, but they also sell these in colorful roses, and just placing the smaller stickers around, and then gave them a thick coat of Mod Podge, and I feel like this looks so beautiful. It kind of looked like it was glazed over the flowers, and they just turned out so summery and colorful, and I feel like they are super close to the original picture.